What's up, Trader's Edge? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option, and this is your look at the week ahead. We're going to talk about the two events I'm watching. We're going to talk about the levels I'm looking at the S&P and the Qs. We're going to talk volatility. We're going to look at gold and oil and Bitcoin, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the action in the stock market on Monday. So let's dig in and start with these economic reports. Now, I want to remind you, Friday was quadruple witching, which means there's liquidity pockets open. So we're bound to have some big moves this week, which leads us to, I think, the two events that you want to watch. Number one, FOMC. I think it's a big deal. Everybody seems to think that June rate cut is coming. I got to tell you, I don't see it. I don't see it. The other piece I am watching, so that I'm going to get to what we're going to do about that in a second. The other piece I'm watching is there is one earnings this week that I think is worth paying attention to, and that is Micron. Micron's been moving around a lot. It's obviously had a really nice run since the beginning of March. Heading into its earnings, which are going to be the 20th after the bell, they're pricing in a 10% move. Now, why is that important? The normal move they price is 5.7%. That is a huge, messy, that just shows you that they're concerned. This thing could make a major move. Earnings have been negative. So can this company turn profitable? There's a lot going on here. And this one could set the table for really the rest of the week, certainly from a chip standpoint. All right, now let's look at the indexes. SPX, I told you, I keep thinking this thing's going to break. It keeps bouncing off this 21-day moving average, has not been closed below the 21-day moving average in 2 months. We are getting a nice pop on Monday, but that has softened up. The S&P is off about 15 points from the high, and looks like it wants to soften up as the day progresses. The Qs, kind of a similar story. They closed below the 21 for the first time since February. Have bounced, but now are sitting right at that 21-day moving average. So we're at kind of a key level here. And lastly, we've got the rut, which continues to struggle. If it can get over this 21 again, it could break out. But I have yet to see it be able to prove that it can do that for an extended period of time. Best run we've had was February to kind of 2 weeks ago. It's been kind of slowly moving down since then. Now let's talk VIX and volatility. We're still at a 14 despite being at all-time highs. And the VIX term structure is really pretty scary to me. We are in actual backwardation ahead of the Fed. So they're expecting some wild moves. How wild a move? Well, looking at SPX, we got that Fed meeting coming up on the 20th. And, when I look at the straddle price, which will populate here in a second, they're only pricing at about a $54 move. We moved more than $54 on Monday. So the vol is probably too cheap. I think there's an opportunity here if you're really concerned to play this movement. Maybe not on the 20th, but I like strangles going out next week. They make a lot of sense to me. I've been putting some of those on myself. Now, gold. I've been wanting to talk this. Everyone, and I'm going to roll back to bonds here in a second too. Everybody keeps thinking gold's going higher. I think it's topped out. Look for it to break back toward 195. Oil, kind of a different story. Has completely broken out. Continues to just boom higher. USO is going to 80. Now, lastly, And this is the big one. Bonds are trying to hold up. We're at this level that has been kind of a support level going back to February. This cracks, the market cracks. All right. If you see TLT trade below $92, down to 91.5, the market might start free falling because we could see bonds really take it on the chin. Now, just a couple stocks I'm watching. NVIDIA, they have a conference Monday night. It's been up, it's been down. I expect it to, I think it's heading for a down week. I think the Fed could really pull the wind out of the sails. If SMCI is kind of a harbinger of how NVIDIA behaves, it's like NVIDIA on crack. And, this thing has been down over $100 at points on Monday. So I think you're going to see a rough week for the super Momo chip names. A couple other names I'm keeping an eye on. Apple has found a bottom, gapped higher on Monday. I think this one is going to start rallying. Tesla, similar story. We continue to see bullish paper in Tesla. It looks like it's going to head back to the 21 up at 186. So I'm looking for a move higher there. Lastly, I want you to pay attention to Google and the move that this has had. Really nice run, huge gap on Monday. This one might be a short. It looks overextended. I understand that some of the news here is good, but Google might be a really interesting bear zone trade. So those are kind of the major events I'm watching. Speaking of events, I think we've got something special coming your way tomorrow ahead of the Fed. So pay attention to your email boxes, or there may be a little bit of information in this email. Click on it. You got questions about our services, give us a call, 888-872-3301, or email us, support@optionpit.com. So there's your look at the week ahead. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. I hope you have a good one.